Trinesha, Catrell.
Hi, this is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I am so grateful to have you here on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we are going to talk about when you know you know. But before we get started, if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay, so earlier today, I'm reading the Bible. I'm reading Luke 3. And in Luke 3, it talks about the separation of things. It talks about being in the wilderness. And then it also talks about winnowing. And I had to definitely look up this word because I had never, like, in regular day terms, we don't ever use winnowing. Like, you're not in a conversation being like, oh yeah, I'm just winnowing this situation. Like, so winnowing, for those of you that don't know, like me, is when a process of separating like things from grain. So it could be like bugs, it could be pests, it could be like different things that come into the grain that's separated from it. And sometimes when the grain is light, they throw it up into the wind, and the wind would blow out the pieces that weren't necessary and keep the things that were necessary. And it really had me thinking about this walk that we're doing in our faith and life, and how sometimes we have a separation process that takes place in order for us to advance to the next level. And it could be things that we're holding on to. It could be things that we just want to keep in our life. And God is like, look, you need to let that go. Like, I know you want this person, place, or thing so badly, but if it's not benefiting or adding fruit to your life, you're going to have to winnow it out. You're going to have to just let that stuff go. And sometimes it could be hard because you're like, I just want to get one more get back. I got to get my lick back. I got to just let me handle the situation, God. And then you got to remember that vengeance is God's, it's not ours. Like, our job is just to be the best version of ourselves. Our job is to just forgive people and to let things go when it's not serving us in our life, and to really move on. Like, us holding on to that hate, to that resentment, to all of those things is not serving us in our life. And I was having a conversation earlier today with someone, and we were talking about different ways of forgiving people. And I said that in one of my videos this week, I was talking about how, the pastor was preaching a sermon saying, well, do you have forgiveness in your heart? Could you help someone who wronged you? And my answer to that was yes, I could help someone, but with my heart posture being the same way. So this week I was tested with something. There was someone who had wronged me, or someone that I love in the past. And the opportunity came for me to just ignore it or do something about it. And I decided to help the person who had wronged someone that I cared about in the past. And I know most people watching this video would say, oh, I would never help somebody like that. But I not only did I do it, but I did it in a good heart posture. And I'm not saying it to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back or anything like that. But I'm saying it because sometimes God will test you in situations to see where your heart posture lies. And it's up to you to pass the test. And it's also up to you to see where you stand in God's presence. And when you are really given like an opportunity to make a better choice, are you going to be making a better choice? For me, when God tests me in life, it really shows me where my faith lies. It shows me where my hope is, and it shows me where my character is. Am I humble enough to handle the situation? Is my heart posture in the right place for God to continuously bless me, or am I still in the wrong place in life? And while we are in our wilderness season, while we are, whether you strayed from faith or you're in faith, but you're being tested and you have spiritual warfare or whatever is going on in your life, I think it's so important to remember to stay focused on God. I know life doesn't seem easy. I know you're getting irritated, people getting on your last nerve. I know you in a situation in life and you're like, listen, I've been being faithful and doing all the things I need to do all this time, and it just seems like I'm waiting forever. And listen, you do not have to worry about waiting on anything in life without, I don't want to say it like that. Let me not say you don't have to worry about anything, about waiting on anything. You shouldn't worry about waiting on anything in life because God got you. Everything is going to be fine. I know in the moment when you in it, it's like, listen, this is the worst season ever. But if you tell yourself it's the worst season ever, it will be the worst season ever. You got to switch your perspective and say, this is going to be the best season ever. So that when God opens the door, so when God gives you things, when God is ready to give you an opportunity to bless you, when he's ready for you to meet your kingdom spouse, when he's ready for your job to advance, when he's ready for the blessings to come, you will be fine. He has everything already under control. We don't have to do nothing but be ourselves. Sometimes we really get beside ourselves and we really feel like we got to do so much to make things happen in our life. And God is like, I already got this taken care of. Why are you doing the most right now? We run ourselves ragged. We are exhausted. We're feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm just doing so much. And God's like, listen, it's okay to put forth work and effort because faith without works is dead. But you also have to make sure you balance work and life. Make sure you're balancing your rest and the working. And I think one of the things that tires us out the most is that when it's time for us to do something for God, we're so busy doing the things that we want to do that we're exhausted because we're trying to do both. When we are in this wilderness season with our faith being tested, with us really trying to determine where our faith lies, or if we really about that God life, or while we're waiting for the blessing or our prayer to be answered, it's really important for us to say, okay, God, what would you want me to do in this season? Because if you keep leaning on him, if you keep staying focused on him, it will go by so much quicker. If I'm chasing after God, like the pastor said, and I'm doing these things that I need to be doing in life, I'm not going to be worried about the things that I don't have yet. I'll be worried. I'll be more focused on what it is that I already do have in life. And also making a thankful, grateful list will help you see what you really appreciate instead of seeing all the things that you're lacking instead of what you packing. I just can't say one without the other whenever I reference that term. It's like Prophet J. Cole said, like, I just really have to, I really have to mention both. And so whenever you're going through something in life, when you're in a wilderness season, when things don't look like they're about to turn up, when you have lost a job, when you're in a different position in life, when you're waiting for an answered prayer, the main focus for you to do is just to be grateful for the things that you have. And then also remember that God already did it before. So if he did it before, he can do it again. He's the same God that did it before, that gave you the position. He can give you another position. He's the same God that gave you one relationship and can give you another relationship. He's the same God that can give you another opportunity after he's already given you one opportunity. And any door that's closed means that your faith wasn't big enough to hold that blessing, that open door. So be careful what doors you walk through and make sure that God is on the other side of it. Because if the door can't hold your faith, you don't want to be in it. That's what Devon Franklin said in one of his podcast interviews. And it was so helpful to me because sometimes we feel like we have to sacrifice our faith in order to receive a blessing or an opportunity. But it's good to know that if there is an opportunity that God has for you, God is going to be in that situation. He's not going to make you be with somebody and then lose interest in having a relationship with him, or stop going to church, or stop doing Bible study, or stop doing whatever it is that God is telling you to do in obedience. God is going to make sure that if that man is a part of your life, is drawing you closer to him. He's going to make sure if that opportunity is part of God, it's going to be something that you could be faithful in that situation. They're not going to make you work every Sunday because they realize that religion matters to you. It's going to be a position where you're not going to be drawn further away from God with whatever person, place, or thing that you have. That place that you have, you're not going to have to clean the house every Sunday. Like I'm not trying to get on people, because some people say I only have Sundays off, so that's the only day I can clean. I understand that. But I'm saying that if God is blessing you with the house, with the car, with a person, place, or thing, it's not going to take away from your faith. It's not going to take away from you giving this time to God, with you building a relationship with God. It's going to bring you closer to having a relationship with God. And so always remember that in the wilderness. Also, when it comes to this winnowing, separating the grain from the things that are in it, whether it's pest or whatever else it is, it really made me think about separating ourselves from the things that don't serve us. And it also, this is a weird like reference or whatever else you want to call it, but I also started thinking about this podcast I listened to earlier today, and it talked about how people, there was this person on this podcast that was talking about advice for people in relationships, and they were single. And the weird thing is, I used to think, okay, of course, a single person can be a relationship coach or a coach, for people that are trying to get into relationships. Yes, but not a relationship coach. And I could never understand why TG and other people would say, oh no, somebody that's not in a relationship should not be a relationship coach. Then I realized, obviously, it needs to be a person in a relationship, in a healthy, happy relationship, giving a relationship advice. One, because a single person, just stick with me, bear with me in this, because I got a point, I promise. Because a person who is single hasn't taken a leap of faith. They have not chosen to go out on faith and really choose to be with the person that God intended for them to be with. They have not made the decision to say, okay, I put my ego, my pride aside to put this person first. They have not said that, okay, God, is this what you want me to do? I'm going to do it. They have not said, this happened to me in the past, but I'm not going to punish you for the person that I was that mishandled me, you know? But people that are single, we cannot be relationship coaches because we have more fear than someone that's in a relationship that has taken that leap of faith in a healthy relationship, happy, healthy relationship. Because everybody could be in a relationship. I'm talking about people that's really happy, that's really trying. And I know some people will disagree with me, and that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion. But seriously, think about it. Would you want to be coached by somebody that's single, that's afraid just like you are to walk into a relationship that God has for you? Would you really want to listen to someone tell you advice from a scared point of view? Someone saying, oh no, you can't do anything for any man. You have to be married to him in order to start doing stuff for him. And I get why this young lady said it, because I would feel the same way in my hurting season, in the season where I didn't want to let anybody in the season where I had my wall up. I couldn't even imagine letting someone be a part of my life in that way, or wanting to help someone without God saying, okay, help this person. And of course, I would always use discernment in the future to be able to help someone. But when you are talking to a relationship coach, you want a happy, healthy relationship coach because they're the person that took a leap of faith. They're the person that wasn't letting fear stop them from being with the person that God intended for them to be with. They're the person who decided that they want to be selfless. They're okay dying to themselves because they know that you have to do that in order to give to somebody else. They're not saying, oh no, I did this. Let me keep a checklist of all the hundreds of things that I've done and the 0 or 2 things that you've done on your list. It's not a record thing. It's a I love them, so I'm gonna do it thing. And that's what a lot of single people don't have, that people that are in happy, healthy relationships have. That's why most people choose to be single so long, because it's about being selfish and not being selfless. And I know some people will argue with me and they'll say, no, I don't mind being selfless in these areas. Yes, but maybe you're selfless in all these areas except a relationship. Like, really think about it and be honest with yourself without being argumentative or anything else. Really think about what is stopping you from being with someone. And when I think of some of the people that I have let in my life, or I've tried to keep out of my life, most of the times it's fear. Most of the times I'm too afraid to let this person into my life because I'm like, oh no, I remember what happened the last time. I remember this is the decision that I made this time. So now this time I'll never let blah, 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 blah. And it's like, we say things like that because we're trying to protect ourselves, but it's not healthy. It's not going to get you any closer to being with the person that you should be with. And you might have done it as a protection thing because in the past you said, I'm never going to let somebody do blah, 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 blah ever again. But it's stopping you from receiving the thing that God has for you. It's stopping you from receiving the person that God has for you because you are blocking them out because somebody else mishandled you. You have to really be able to say, okay, this person mishandled me, but I'm going to let God guide the next relationship. I'm not just going to say I have to be afraid of everything. Don't be afraid with when it comes to a person. Like, of course, guard your heart at all costs, but you don't have to have walls up around all the people that the blessing is attached to. When the opportunity comes for a job, you don't have to say, well, this old job did this to me. No, this is a new opportunity. It's time for you to let that opportunity be what it is and stop having all these preconceived notions of what you think it should be just because of something in the past that didn't turn out the way that you wanted to. You really have to step out on faith when it comes to the things in life instead of just saying, I just want to do this because I was hurt in the past. We have all been hurt, but it's time to let the right people be a part of your life so that you can receive the blessings that God has for you, because you're only hurting yourself. You are really blocking somebody else's blessing, them from an opportunity to get to know you. You're really blocking yourself the opportunity to get to know someone who would really treat you the right way. So allow God to do what it is that He has to do. Let Him winnow the things out that aren't serving your life, the things that mean you no good, and allow the good things in so that you can receive the job, the person, place, or thing that He has for you so that you can have immense level of blessings. So thank you so much for watching. I had one more, it was worship, but we get it. You definitely got to be praising God, because the more grateful and thankful you are, the more blessings you will receive. So allow God to enter into your heart. Allow Him to show you how to love people, how to really give to people, how to serve, how to be cheerful, how to have joy, so that you can treat people the way that He intends for you to treat them. So when it comes to this faith thing, when it comes to really having someone with knowledge of the things that it is that you want in life, we have to remember that when we're in the wilderness season to seek God, we have to remember to winnow the things out that no longer serve us and to worship regardless of what the situation is. So God knows that we're thankful of little so that we can be blessed with a lot. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Bye.